We've got ourselves a few showers this morning, and we've got more storms on the way. We'll talk about that forecast coming up.
Ordinance to ban the sale of sugar bottles in the city.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday again across the 4 states, but we can't avoid it. All we can do is get through it and make it to that downhill run to Friday. And we're going to have another wet day for us to have to skirt through in order to get to Friday. Let's take a quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we've got a few scattered showers and storms across the area this morning. These will start to clear out just a little bit, and then we will see additional development that will take place a little later today across the area, and it'll be a very similar setup to yesterday for us. This is just kind of looking at these showers getting going, especially on the western side of our area here, and again, we'll see redevelopment later. So let's take a look down the road. We'll head to noon, and we'll start to see those scattered thunderstorms begin to fire back up across the area. And like yesterday, they're going to be scattered. They'll be hit and miss here and there, but they will continue through the evening and eventually start to clear out as we head into very early tomorrow morning into the overnight hours tonight. And then we're going to pause from the rain for just a little bit before we see more storms move in. There is a very low-end severe risk. As you can see, our tornado risk very low, and it is a low-end small hail risk and maybe a few strong wind gusts out there possible with some of these storms. Again, very similar to yesterday. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looks good. The KDOT camera is a little harder to see. They've changed the position on it, but once the sun comes out, we'll be able to see more of that. And from 7th and range line, we're good. We got some clouds out there, 68 in Joplin with an east breeze at 5, and it is a bit on the muggy side. And there's that cold front off to our northwest, the last trigger for storms for us, at least for today, and then again more later this week. You got 68 Pittsburgh, 67 Fort Scott, 70 Parsons, Chautauqua, and Miami. And as we get our morning started, we're going to be cloudy. Again, a few of those isolated showers hanging on. We're up to near 80 by 11, and then we'll continue to stay warm initially, and then like yesterday too, once the thunderstorms get going, temperatures will drop, and once you clear out, they'll turn around and warm back up. So you're going to bounce back and forth out there, but we're looking at highs topping out in the upper 70s. A little cooler tonight, lower 60s, maybe even a couple of upper 50-degree readings. Those thunderstorms again continuing into the evening and then starting to let up as we head into the overnight hours. And as we look down the road, so again, a few of those early morning showers tomorrow, and much cooler as well. We're talking upper 60s. Warming back up Wednesday, and then we see thunderstorm chances return Thursday into Friday evening, so more of this much-needed rain on the way. Not a bad weekend. We're talking 70s, partly cloudy, and then we'll stay dry through the first half of next week, and temperatures warming back up into the lower 80s across the area. Now, unfortunately, because we do cool down a bit, our overnight lows get a little chillier for a couple of days, but otherwise not too bad out there. And again, some much-needed rain chances still in our forecast. Amber?
Thank you, Chris. A semi-crash leaves a cab dangling from the I-44 overpass in Oklahoma City. The crash happened Sunday morning. The driver of the semi tells Oklahoma Highway Patrol another vehicle cut him off, which caused him to swerve and go over the bridge. Oklahoma City firefighters used a ladder truck to rescue the driver and passenger. Both driver and passenger escaped the wreckage with no injuries. One person under the overpass sustained a head injury when they were struck by falling debris. Missouri State Highway Patrol released details regarding a 10-vehicle collision on Friday afternoon that claimed the life of a Neosho, Missouri man. The chain reaction rear-ender crash occurred at 4:45 p.m. on I-44 West, about 2 miles west of Mount Vernon. 9 of the vehicles involved were in a stopped traffic approaching bridge work at the Firestadt Branch double bridges. The chain reaction crash started as a tractor-trailer driven by Patrick Joyner, 53, of Jefferson, Georgia, struck the Neosho man's vehicle from behind. Roger Alexander, 37, of Neosho, was driving a 2015 BMW 550i. He was airlifted to Mercy Springfield, where he was pronounced deceased at 6:50 p.m. Next of kin were notified. The crash report reveals 3 others involved suffered minor injuries and 1 moderate injury. All were transported to Mercy Joplin for care. A Northeast Oklahoma woman injured in a car crash nearly a week ago died of her injuries on Friday. The single vehicle crash occurred on a rural road northeast of Quapaw, Oklahoma back on May 6. Investigators say the driver was 81-year-old Amanda Johnson of Commerce, Oklahoma. Her SUV left the road and rolled. Johnson died on Friday morning. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office hosts Safety Day. The Family Fun Day brings awareness to what men and women do to protect the community. Gun safety, SWAT, and K9 demos were just a few of the activities were going on, as well as face painting, shaved ice, and bounce houses for the kids.
Last day and the graduation for the academy. Basically, it's an opportunity for people to, for one day a week, come in and kind of get a little better understanding of what it is that we do at the sheriff's office. They get to take a tour of the jail, they get to shoot some firearms, they get some demonstrations from detectives and patrol units and things like that.
Of course, you can learn more about the graduation for the academy. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Today, the Joplin City Council will consider a potential ordinance that aims to prohibit the sale of alcohol in shooter bottles. KOAM Sagun Bomdeli has more.
According to the City Council's bill, shooters are easier to conceal and disproportionately contribute to the violation of city code. These shooter bottles are commonly used for selling alcohol in quantities of 100 millimeters or less.
Or whatever decision they make, that's going to help solve the issue of not just the trash these bottles create, but the overall communal impact of what it does for our mental health in our region.
John Buck is the co-founder of IS Society, a non-profit organization that helps clean the city of Joplin. He says he is in favor of a ban, even when some disapprove of the ban.
We clean up every Sunday morning. We start at 7:30 a.m. and clean up for 5.5 miles in Joplin. And every week we're picking up the same type of trash every week, and the most prominent are these shooter bottles.
The city has bigger problems to deal with than some little 50 ml bottle. What's next? Somebody didn't clean up after their dog at the park, so now we're going to ban anyone from having pets in the park. We're going to ban cars because somebody honked after 10 o'clock. Nobody can drive on the streets. What are we going to ban next?
Lynette Lewis, a manager at Jog's Liquor Store, says the ban will affect city's revenue.
Outside city limits is going to pick up huge in the sales of the 50 ml bottles because people that want those bottles are still going to go get them. They're just going to drive 5 minutes farther to pick it up at another liquor store.
John Buck tells me that his non-profit company, which does local cleanups around the city of Joplin, has picked up over 50,000 shooter bottles in 4 months. Reporting in Joplin, Shag Mamdele, KOAM News.
Today's City Council meeting will have the first reading of the ordinance. Since it's not an emergency ordinance, 3 votes at 3 council meetings are required to pass it. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. MSSU and PSU look to see if they'll make it into Division II regionals. Plus, a mother and daughter piloting team makes history. And the FDA approves a new medication that will help with menopausal hot flashes. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, Sunday was meant for Mother's Day, but it was also Selection Sunday. The Division II baseball regionals are being announced. Both Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State wait anxiously to see where they will be placed in the NCAA Division II bracket. Missouri Southern has a 42-15 overall record this season. Lions finished in 2nd place in the MIAA standings. News was announced yesterday that Missouri Southern will be the number 2 seed in the Central Region. They will host the first round in Joplin, Missouri at Warner Turner Field. The Lions will take on the number 7 seed Arkansas Tech. Winner of that game will play the winner of Minnesota State and Southern Arkansas. There's not any further update on the times of the games at the current moment, but they will soon be updated on the NCAA Division II website. Pittsburgh State finished their regular season with a 33-20 overall record. However, as of recently, the Gorillas have lost 9 of their last 14 games. The Gorillas did not make the cut. Pittsburgh State was on the bubble coming into Sunday. The Gorillas' season has come to an end. Gorillas were battling it out for the last spot in the Central region. Well, still to come, the world's oldest dog turns 31, and yes, he's still a good boy. And we got another check of those incoming storm chances when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 on this Monday morning. We've got still a few scattered showers out there across the area. We do have one lone thunderstorm just rolling in Newata County, but outside of that, just a few scattered showers, and these will clear out here in the next hour or so, and then they will leave us dry momentarily before we see a very similar situation to yesterday's setup take place this afternoon. So here's those showers starting to kind of develop, overspread the area, not even all of this reaching the ground, unfortunately, but it'll continue to lift to the north, and then as we head into the afternoon, we start to see additional scattered thunderstorm development across the region. And like yesterday, we're going to see some of it start on the Missouri side and then eventually begin to overspread the rest of the area as the afternoon and evening hours go on. So again, some much needed rain out there. We are looking, it's looking better on the rain situation. We're still not there, but we are slowly getting better with rainfall. Here we are at 6 o'clock, a few of those scattered thunderstorms out there across the area. We go into the evening and overnight hours, and that's when we'll see one more round of showers and possible thunderstorms before they start to clear out towards sunrise tomorrow. And that still, though, will leave us on the cloudy side for our Tuesday. There is, at least right now, a very low-end risk for some stronger storms out there, very low tornado risk. We've got a low-end hail risk, some small hail, and a damaging wind risk out there. But in all honesty, again, this is not that dissimilar from yesterday's setup where we did see a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms, but we didn't see a massive outbreak. And that's kind of the thinking today. A couple of storms today could be strong, maybe severe, but we're not anticipating anything significant severe weather-wise. MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line. Looking back to the south, we are looking good. And even though it looks super foggy from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, it's just that I've noticed this morning they've kind of changed the position and the street light overhead is really interfering with its view. But again, as we get some daylight later this morning, I'm sure it will look a lot better. Got a few clouds out there. Otherwise, we're at 68 in Joplin, east breeze at 5. But you see our dew point and humidity up there. Some of that is from the showers in the immediate area, but it's going to stay like that as well. So that'll help fuel our storms later today. 70 Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, Chetopa, Miami, 68s in Neosho, Carthage, and Pittsburgh, and 66 in Lamar. We get our day started. Again, a couple of those stray showers. Otherwise, cloudy skies near 80 by late morning. Could see a few isolated showers ahead of the thunderstorm development. And then we head into the afternoon and into the early evening hours. More thunderstorms out there. Highs are going to push near 80, but like yesterday too, if you get under a storm, your temperatures will drop pretty quickly. But once that storm clears ahead of the next one, your temperatures are going to climb back up again. Lower 60s, maybe even a couple of upper 50-degree readings as we head into tonight. Again, a few showers lingering into tomorrow morning. We're pushing cooler near 70. Mild on Wednesday, and then evening storm chances returning Thursday and especially into Friday. And then our weekend, not looking all that bad. We've got partly cloudy skies, temperatures low to mid 70s, so some textbook spring-like weather, a great opportunity to get out there and mow the yard that you've probably mowed several times over the last few days. Well, a mother and daughter are making history at 42,000 feet. Naomi Ruckham shows us their journey together as pilots and their lifelong bond.
Terry Edison and her daughter Nicole McAllister have always been close, but this Mother's Day, their bond is soaring to new heights. The duo can now claim their place in history after becoming the first mother-daughter team to co-pilot an international flight.
Looking over there once we got leveled off and wow, this is the two of us up here flying this huge jet. That was a warming feeling. I enjoyed it.
Late last month, the FedEx pilots took a 14-and-a-half-hour trip from Memphis to Incheon, South Korea, nearly 7,000 miles side by side. Terry served as captain. Nicole took the helm for takeoff and landing.
It was one of the better landings that I've had. So in that moment, it was funny because my mom was sitting right next to me, but I also reflected what my mom said, where it was like, no, I know I'm going to do well.
At a young age, Nicole admired her mom's career in aviation, so she became an Air Force pilot and eventually joined Terry at FedEx.
Nicole, how does your mom inspire you?
Oh, my mom inspires me in so many ways. She was always there, and as an adult, she's always been here.
Now a mom herself, Nicole reflects on how her mother did it all. Terry says the journey has been worth every minute.
Being a mom and doing this job, being a mom and doing any job, it's not easy to, find that fine balance of being able to do both and being able to do both well.
Their message to moms everywhere: let your dreams take flight. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
And to make their trip even sweeter, Nicole's dad and Terry's husband, who is also a pilot, served as a relief pilot on board. Their trip comes nearly 91 years after Amelia Earhart's historic solo flight across the Atlantic. That brings us to our question for you this morning. Did you celebrate Mother's Day this past weekend? Yes or no? Well, we want to hear from you. Make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. And we will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the Food and Drug Administration approved a new drug to treat the symptoms of menopause on Friday. Zenlula treats hot flashes and night sweats by blocking receptors in the brain that play a role in regulating body temperature. It's an alternative to hormone replacement therapies. Women with higher risk of stroke, heart attacks, and some types of cancer are advised against HRTs. In clinical trials of more than 3,000 women, the drug reduced the number of hot flashes they experience each week, but it all comes with a warning about risk of liver injuries. If you're having a hard time getting your steps in, new research suggests eating a certain amount of fruits and veggies might help. The study finds eating 5 pieces of fruit and vegetables daily can be as good as for your health as taking 4,000 steps. Scientists measured the oxygen levels of more than 2,300 participants who had to run or walk on a treadmill. The participants also answered questions about their food habits over the past year. If you want to keep mosquitoes away, scientists say you might want to try this scent. A study published in the iScience journal finds coconut-scented soaps might repel mosquitoes. Researchers examined the clinical odors released by 4 participants before and after they used different brands of soap. They also looked at the chemicals in the soap to identify which attracted and repelled the insects. The results found chemicals in the coconut-scented soap appeared to make humans less attractive to mosquitoes. The results also confirmed previous findings from studies, which suggested coconut may be the best repellent against the insect. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've got a few stray showers out there this morning. Those will clear out briefly before we see a repeat of yesterday afternoon. We'll talk about that in your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, Harbor Village hosts American Heritage Colonial Frontier Days.
We got a few stray showers out there for our morning drive. Those will clear out soon, and then more storms are on the way this afternoon. We'll talk about that coming up.
So Ride Out Designs in Joplin hosts Old School Flash Day.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's Monday, but they can't do anything about that. But we're getting some additional chances of much needed rainfall across the area.
That's good.
Over the weekend, Sam had talked about Sedan, Kansas. They are only at half of their total rainfall that they should be at for this time of year. And so still some extreme drought conditions out there. But those are the areas, at least right now, still continuing to get some scattered showers, which I know these folks are probably out there enjoying this much needed rain, and they probably have been for the last several days. We'll continue to see these showers roll on through, and they'll start to clear out. We've got one lone thunderstorm into Craig County there with a few flashes of lightning, but otherwise just some light rain, and not all of it reaching the ground, especially as you head further east. but still some much needed rain getting out there in southeast Kansas. And this is not the only rain we'll see. We've got additional thunderstorm chances heading into the noon hour, and this is going to be a very similar setup to yesterday, where we'll start to see by the afternoon with the daytime heating, thunderstorms starting to pop up, and they'll be scattered, but there will be numerous thunderstorms out there. There will be several of them, and this is by 3 o'clock. A few more of those storms now getting into southeast Kansas, and then as the system moves through, we start to get where these storms, instead of moving from south to north, will shift from west to east, and they'll continue to push through into the evening hours, and then even into the overnight and very early for our Tuesday morning before they do eventually start to clear out. Unfortunately, they will still leave us mostly cloudy for our Tuesday. There is a very low in severe threat out there. As you can see, our tornado risk is very low. We could see some small hail and perhaps some damaging wind with some of the stronger storms. And again, much similar to, or very similar to yesterday, where we did see a couple of severe thunderstorms, but for the most part, they were relatively tame or at that just below severe level. MoDOT camera, 20th in range line, looking good, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. It's not foggy, it's just they've changed that camera angle out there, and that the street lights kind of interfering with that. Got a few clouds out there right now. 68 in Joplin, east breeze at 5 miles an hour. Quick look at temperatures around the area. 66 Fort Scott, Iola, 70s in Chanute, Parsons, 68 Miami, Neosho, and 67 in Carthage. As we get our day started, most of these showers should clear out. Will be cloudy. A few isolated showers near 80 by late morning, and then we'll see those thunderstorms build in. Highs near 80 degrees. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Community members spent an evening out creating a fun and relaxing painting at Create and Sip Studios in Joplin, enjoying their favorite beverage and creating great memories.
Well, we are painting along as people are creating their own Wonder Woman for Mother's Day, getting creative with color and having a lot of fun and just having a relaxing day, getting creative. We're doing Wonder Woman because most every mother I know is a Wonder Woman in her own right, and so I thought it was kind of fitting to do something more like that than just, you know, some pretty flowers, because hopefully they get a lot of flowers. But I wanted to celebrate the Wonder Woman and all moms and mothers.
Ages 8 and up were able to attend and was encouraged to bring their own drinks and snacks. The Harbor Village hosts the American Heritage Colonial Frontier Days. The event was meant to show and represent what the colonial times from 1700 to 1860 looked like. Community members were invited to see the artifacts and heritage skills of the colonial times.
We do this for home schools, public schools, anyone that wants to learn the education of any time frame that we choose to be able to represent here. And that's anything from 1700 all the way on up until about 1920.
Over the weekend, over 500 people attended the event. Rado Designs in Joplin hosts Old School Flash Day. The event is to celebrate and appreciate the style of American traditional tattoos that reaches back to the birth of Western tattooing. Coffee and tacos were available while waiting to get a little piece of tattoo history.
So it's kind of a celebration of the style as well. American traditional, it's part of these guys' culture, and it's the first thing that they really learned. It's the first technique that they learned. So it's kind of nostalgic for them as well, and cool for them to be able to stretch that out again.
To see more on this style of tattooing, just head on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Carthage, Missouri Water and Electric Plant hosts a 5K and 1 mile fun run and walk in honor of Drinking Water Week. Last week brought awareness to the Carthage community about the benefits of tap water, that a safe, reliable water supply is critical to the success of any community. The event gave a unique opportunity for the water professionals and the community as they joined together to recognize the important role water plays in our daily lives.
And this run is to bring awareness to Water for People, which is an organization that exists to promote the development of high-quality drinking water and sanitation services to those all over the world.
All proceeds for the event went to the nonprofit Water for People. They help water quality and sanitation across 9 countries. Bladesmith from across the country gathered in Quapaw, Oklahoma for the highly anticipated 3rd annual Forward and Fire Face-Off. KOAM Sagoon Bamadeli has more.
The event held on Main Street in Quapaw showcased the skills and craftsmanship of talented artisans in the world of bladesmithing.
We got master smiths and knife makers from the 4-state area around here. We're having knife judging. We're doing some competitions, a little grudge match, a knife show. Just a good little get together.
The knife forging event brought out the young and old of the Quapaw community.
We like this event because we're able to give the community a chance to meet some of these celebrities from the show, and to get a chance to see what they do in person, and a big chance to see what they have when they sell what they sell.
There were several types of knives that were showcased.
Of knives here, there's everyday carry type knives, Bowie knives, there is stock removal knives, forged knives. There's a lot of forged knives here. Master Smith Ray Kirk's going to be doing some demonstrations. It's a really fun event.
Phil Evans, a veteran of a popular knife forging TV show, Forged in Fire, says it is great to see young blacksmiths.
It's really neat being on somebody that was on the first season of Forged in Fire, and now I think we're on season 9 or 10, and there's people here that are up and coming on season 10. They're actually at this show, and there might even be some future Forged in Fire champions here right now.
In Quapaw, Shogmamdele, KOAM News.
The event was free to the public. This morning, we are discussing Mother's Day.
Yeah, Terry Edson and her daughter Nicole McAllister have always been close, but on Mother's Day, their bond soared to new heights. Duo can now claim their place in history after becoming the first mother-daughter team to co-pilot an international flight. Late last month, the FedEx pilots took a 14.5-hour trip from Memphis to Incheon, South Korea.
Nearly 7,000 miles side by side, Terry served as captain. Nicole took the helm for takeoff and landing. At a young age, Nicole admired her mom's career in aviation, so she became an Air Force pilot and eventually joined Terry at FedEx.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Did you celebrate Mother's Day? So far, 100% of you say that you did. I am among those that celebrated. Did you celebrate your mom for Mother's Day?
Of course.
I know that she's not here.
Yeah, she's in another time zone, but
still, time zones don't make a difference.
Right,
between
I
daughter
still
and
love
mother.
her, right.
Absolutely. Well, make sure you take time to vote in our poll through our website, through the app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Maybe share how you celebrated your mom. Give people ideas for next year.
Nice. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A man in Georgia doesn't let him being blind stop his love of music.
Plus, the Pope pleads with Italians to have more children. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back, but first here's a live look from Columbus. Topping World Watch. At least 13 people were killed after a van collided with the back of a cargo truck on a highway in Talumpas in northern Mexico on Sunday. The crash took place at kilometer 80 of Halagazura Highway, and both vehicles caught fire after colliding. Mexican officials expressed condolences to the families of the victims and have pledged to support to help the relatives as the investigation into the cause of the deadly wreck continues. This 980 feet long submarine carrying cocaine in the Pacific Ocean was intercepted by the Colombian Navy on Friday. That's the largest narco submarine officials have ever intercepted in the country. 3 crew members were detained. They told the Navy they were forced to take the shipment to Central America by a drug trafficking organization. The packages of cocaine were worth over $100 million, according to officials. Millions of Thais are heading to the polls Sunday for a general election. The country is voting to choose members of a new 500-seat House of Representatives. It's the first election since pro-democracy demonstrations rocked Thailand in 2020. And opposition candidates are posing a strong challenge to the military-backed leader who has ruled Thailand for nearly a decade. Votes are being counted in the most pivotal elections in Turkey's 100-year history. The outcome could determine whether the NATO ally returns or continue with his path towards autocracy. Emma Imbes is in London tracking the latest developments.
These elections have all the trappings of a major democracy in action. But make no mistake, this is a vote unlike any other, as Erdogan, a populist authoritarian, fights to keep his grip on a nation he's pushed from secular to religious, liberal to right-wing, but also into a global player as a NATO member with close ties to Russia. And this is the man trying to unseat Erdogan, opposition leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, a soft-spoken economist and retired civil servant who's promising to return the modern Turkish state to its secular roots, ally it closer to the West, and bring it back into a parliamentary democracy. But it's the economy that has so many Turks concerned as they struggle to cope with record-high inflation and a cost-of-living crisis, while still reeling from a massive earthquake in February that killed over 50,000 people.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday was awarded the prestigious Charlemagne Prize during a visit to Germany on behalf of the Ukrainian people for their contribution to the unification of Europe. He collected the prize at a ceremony in Western German city of Aachen with German Chancellor Scholz and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in attendance. The Charlemagne Prize, one of the most significant political awards in Germany, is awarded for the work done in the service of European unification. A boxing tournament was held in Kyiv, Ukraine on Saturday to honor soldiers who have taken part in the country's war with Russia. The soldiers are known as the Heroes of Kyiv Defense. Athletes from Ukraine's Olympic team and representatives from Kyiv boxing community took part in the competition. The boxing ring was set up on the platform of the subway station and 10 fights were held. Hundreds of local residents turned out. It was the first sporting event of its scale since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine almost 15 months ago. A subway station was chosen for the match because it was considered a safe area. Pope Francis urges Italians to have more children. The pontiff was joined by Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni Friday in encouraging Italians to procreate, saying, "Fertile ground must be prepared for a new spring to blossom." He also blasted couples for having pets instead of children and for using financial reasons to put them off starting a family, saying when there's no generation of life, sadness step in. So Francis blamed those factors for contributing to a record low birth rate, which is threatening the country's economic future. The world has a new oldest dog. Meet Bobby. The Portuguese pooch just turned 31. That not only makes him the oldest living dog, but the oldest canine ever recorded. Bobby's family threw him a birthday party on Saturday. His owner, Lionel Costa, says the secret to Bobby's longevity is the calm, peaceful environment that the southern Portugal offers. If you're wondering, Bobby is a purebred Rafadudo Artino, which is a breed of Portuguese dog trained to guard livestock. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:47 on this Monday morning. We got those scattered showers across the area, especially across parts of southeast Kansas where they really need that rain. We've still got that one lone thunderstorm hanging out in Craig County. All of this activity continuing to lift to the north, but it'll eventually start to move from west to east a little later today. We're going to see a very similar setup to what we ended up having yesterday with scattered thunderstorms by this afternoon across the area. And we'll see them right around the noon hour. Here's some on the Missouri side, a couple over in Kansas, and one again down in Craig County and another in Benton County. So scattered storms, and like yesterday, a couple of these could be strong, possibly low-grade severe, but again, not anticipating any kind of significant outbreak or anything. By 3 o'clock, a few more of those scattered storms. Again, it's very similar to yesterday where they're scattered, but there are numerous scattered storms across the area. Then as this system starts to roll through, see the wind shift, that'll start pushing these storms from west to east across the area. Here we are at 6. By about 10, we've got a few more trying to get going across the area. And those may linger as showers into tomorrow morning, say just before sunrise, and then they'll clear out, and that's going to leave us with some mostly cloudy skies. So as mentioned, a low-end severe threat today, so a very low tornado risk, not even highlighted at this point. We have the possibility of some small hail and perhaps some strong wind gusts out there, and again, this is almost a repeat of yesterday's setup. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking good. Okay, now we can see the angle that they've positioned this. I told you they changed it. Now that we're getting some light out there. KDOT camera at 69 and 400, looking a slightly different direction, but I do like that view. We've got some clouds out there across the area. Otherwise, we're at 68 in Joplin, so not all that rain on the radar actually reaching the ground. That's mainly on the Missouri side of things. East breeze at 5, and that rain, though, even though it's not falling in Joplin, is enough. It's keeping our dew points and humidity levels high. That'll help with our storms this afternoon. We got 70 Chinook, Parsons, 69 Chetopa, 68 Miami, Neosho, and Pittsburgh, and 66 in Lamar. As we get our morning started, again, these showers this morning should start to clear out of here. We're otherwise going to be cloudy. Near 80 by late morning. Could see a few showers ahead of tonight's thunderstorm chances. Then, as we head into the afternoon, we're looking at highs right around 80 degrees. We'll have those thunderstorm chances increasing as we head into the afternoon hours. And like yesterday, too, I don't know if you noticed this, but we got a storm yesterday in Joplin. Right ahead of that, we were sitting about 81, 82. During the storm, temperature dropped to about 70. And once it cleared out ahead of the next set of storms, temperature shot right back up to about 80 degrees. So that's going to be the case as we're going to see those fluctuating temperatures in between storms this afternoon, but shouldn't get much warmer than about 80 degrees. A little cooler tonight, low 60s, maybe even some upper 50s. Showers and thunderstorms scattered but continuing. And again, those will hold on to just before sunrise tomorrow. And we're going to be much cooler tomorrow. In fact, we'll be below average into the upper 60s. Back to warmer weather on Wednesday, partly cloudy, and then we've got more much-needed rain chances Thursday, and especially in the Friday evening across the area. An absolutely gorgeous weekend shaping up for us as we're in the low to mid-70s, partly cloudy skies. And we're going to hold on to those partly cloudy skies, at least as we kick off the next work week, temperatures returning to the lower 80s. We'll be back with more right after this, but first, here's another live look from Columbus.
A Central Georgia man is proving with hard work and determination anything is possible. TJ Anthony reports.
Was a pound and 6 ounces at birth, had pneumonia, head bleeds, seizures, meningitis.
From birth, Easy Cleghorn faced obstacles, and he's grateful to be alive.
They were going to do emergency brain surgery with no anesthesia. They did one final scan before cutting, and everything had stopped. And from that day until this, blindness was the only lasting impact.
Along with determination and willpower, music has always been there for him.
They say it's a universal language, but I feel like it is even more so when it has always been the biggest way in my life of expressing emotions.
With his love for music,
watching the tide roll away,
includes his love for singing, a passion that has led him to perform in front of crowds.
There's a fundamental difference in being blind and acting blind.
That same willpower and determination attracted his current manager, Stanley Stewart.
Easy has, to me, the heart of a sports person.
It's not about the situation you're given, but how you respond that makes the difference.
If I kicked the bucket tomorrow, I can tell you even now, I've been more places, I've done more things, I've been on more stages than a lot of people get to do.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Reminds me of a local Four States man who's blind, but he plays the piano. That was a wonderful story about him. We'll be right back after this. A new group of butterflies has been named after the Lord of the Rings villain. According to a study published in the Journal of Systematic Entomology, the striking ring patterns of this butterfly led researchers to name it genus Saurona. It's inspired by the Eye of Sauron. That's the blazing symbol of the main antagonist, Sauron of the Dark Lord, in the book series. International researchers documented the 2 new species in the Saurona genus, named Saurona tagula and Saurona argula. The genus lives in lowland rainforests in the southwestern Amazon. Two Russian cosmonauts began a spacewalk at the International Space Station on Friday. Sergei Poksevov and Dmitry Pelinin are working to deploy a radiator on the station's Nauka science module. This is the sixth spacewalk in Paluka's career and the fourth in Pelin's. It's the sixth spacewalk this year and the 263rd for the space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades.
Well, we've got ourselves some scattered showers this morning. They should clear out, leaving us cloudy. Then we'll see a few isolated showers by late morning, pushing near 80, and highs will top out right around there near 80. And we'll start to see a very similar pattern to yesterday with scattered showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon. A couple of those could be strong, low-grade severe. As we head into this evening, a few more of those scattered showers and storms, a little cooler, back into the lower 60s. And as we look ahead, we'll have a few morning showers before sunrise. Much cooler Tuesday near the 67-degree mark. A little warmer Wednesday, more much-needed rain chances Thursday and Friday, and we've got a beautiful weekend ahead of us, partly cloudy in the 70s. We're back with more right after this.
Right now at 6, a semi swerves to avoid a crash in Oklahoma City and goes over the ridge of an overpass.
And we've got a few scattered showers out there this morning, and those will clear out eventually, and then we'll see more storms as we head into the afternoon. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Also, bladesmiths from across the country cut a path to Quapaw, Oklahoma for the 3rd annual Forge and Fire Face-Off.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Amber Jenkins.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 6 o'clock on this Monday morning, and we do have some showers out there. And the good news is a majority of this rain this morning is in southeast Kansas, where they really need some of that rain.
Yes, they do.
We will see these showers kind of taper off later this morning before we see more storm chances build into the area by this afternoon. So looking at the Skywatch storm tracker, you can see we've got those scattered showers and even a couple of rumbles of thunder across parts of southeast Kansas, stretching back into northeast Oklahoma. On the Missouri side, not all of this rain reaching the ground. Some of it is, but most of it is not. These showers and thunderstorms continue to lift off to the north, and they will do so as the morning progresses. And then back behind them, it's going to be a little bit clearer, at least briefly, before we see a very similar setup to yesterday. So let's talk about this afternoon. Here we are at noon. We get some of those scattered thunderstorms popping up. And again, just like yesterday, these will be initially isolated. Then they'll go to widely scattered as the afternoon progresses. Here we are at 3. A few more of these thunderstorms. So again, scattered, but numerous ones of them. There are several of them. And that will continue through the evening and even into the overnight hours tonight. We go to 6, more of those storms. However, pattern shifts just a bit as this system starts to track off to the east. It'll shift these storms movement from west to east across the area. A few more storms by about 1 o'clock in the morning, a few lingering showers just before sunrise, and then these will clear out and leave us with a mostly cloudy day. Again, like yesterday, there's the possibility of a strong storm or two. Our tornado risk is very low, but you can see we have a low end risk for some small hail and perhaps some damaging wind gusts. So again, very much like yesterday, could see a couple of severe storms, but otherwise nothing too crazy. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking good. Staying from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. A quick look at temperatures around the region. We got cloudy skies out there in Joplin sitting at 68 with a calm breeze. And around the area, we're not too bad. We've got decent temperatures. We got 70 Chanute, 69 Chitopa, 68 Miami Neosho, and 67 in Carthage. As we get our morning started, those showers out there now should wrap up. Cloudy, pushing near 80 by late morning, maybe a couple of isolated showers, and then those scattered storms become more widespread as we head into the afternoon. Highs pushing near 80. And like yesterday, if you get under a storm, your temperature may drop, but if that storm clears, it's going to turn around and warm back up a bit before we start to settle down this evening. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Missouri State Highway Patrol releases details regarding a 10-vehicle collision on Friday afternoon that claimed the life of a Neosho, Missouri man. The chain reaction rear-ender crash occurred at 4:45 p.m. on I-44 West, about 2 miles west of Mount Vernon. 9 of the vehicles involved were in stop traffic approaching bridge work at a Firestadt branch double bridges. The chain reaction crash started as a tractor trailer driven by Patrick Joyner, 53, of Jefferson, Georgia, struck the Neosho man's vehicle from behind. Roger Alexander, 37, of Neosho, was driving a 2015 BMW 550i. He was airlifted to Mercy Springfield, where he was pronounced deceased at 6:50 p.m. Next of kin were notified. The crash report reveals 3 others involved suffered minor injuries and 1 moderate injury, all transported to Mercy Joplin for care. A semi-crash leaves a cab dangling from an I-44 overpass in Oklahoma City. The crash happened Sunday morning. The driver of the semi tells Oklahoma Highway Patrol another vehicle cut him off, which caused him to swerve and go over the bridge. Oklahoma City firefighters used a ladder truck to rescue the driver and passenger. Both driver and passenger escaped the wreckage with no injuries. One person under the overpass sustained head injuries when they were struck by falling debris. The Jasper County Sheriff Office hosts Safety Day. This family fun day brings awareness to what the men and women do to protect the community. Gun safety, SWAT, and K9 demos were just few of the activities going on, as well as face painting, shaved ice, and bounce houses for the kids.
Last day and the graduation for the academy. Basically, it's an opportunity for people to, for one day a week, come in and kind of get a little better understanding of what it is that we do at the sheriff's office. They get to take a tour of the jail, they get to shoot some firearms, they get some demonstrations from detectives and patrol units and things like that.
Of course, you can learn more about the graduation for the academy. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Gun violence has been an epidemic in the years since the shooting at Tops Supermarket in Buffalo, New York. The country has seen 221 mass shootings in 2023, and the problem only seems to grow. Astrid Martinez has the report.
Put our broken pieces back together again.
Pain from the mass shooting at Tops Supermarket is still on the minds of the community.
I don't need help remembering. My problems I can't forget.
A gunman who had posted a white supremacist tirade opened fire on shoppers in the predominantly black neighborhood.
Hate did not win on that day.
And the scourge of random gun violence lived on in cities across the country this weekend. Like in Yuma, Arizona, 2 dead, 5 injured, many of them teenagers at a family gathering. In Albany, New York, 3 shot and 1 killed, including an 8-year-old. And in Philadelphia, a 14-year-old was shot and killed Saturday. But critics say lawmakers have been slow with solutions.
People don't like to hear it, but it's not guns, it's people.
President Biden publishing an op-ed today criticizing Congress for its lack of action.
Hello, sir.
In an exclusive interview airing this Tuesday on CBS Mornings, former President Barack Obama tells Nate Burleson that gun violence has become an ideological issue.
Urban versus rural. Race is always an element in these issues.
Parents who lost their own loved ones use this Mother's Day to reinvigorate calls to end the crisis.
We don't know who or why they killed my son, and I just would like an end to gun violence.
In 9 days from now, America will mark 1 year since yet another mass shooting, that one in Uvalde, Texas, where a gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers at an elementary school. To be the first to see breaking news and weather and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple Map App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Bladesmiths from across the country gathered in Quapaw, Oklahoma for the highly anticipated 3rd annual Forge and Fire Face-Off. The event, held on Main Street, showcased the skills and craftsmanship of talented artisans in the world of bladesmithing.
Of knives here, there's everyday carry type knives, Bowie knives, there is stock removal knives, forged knives. There's a lot of forged knives here. Master Smith Ray Kirk's going to be doing some demonstrations. It's a really fun event.
The event was free to the public. The Harbor Village hosted the American Heritage Colonial Frontiers Days. The event was meant to show and represent the colonial times from 1700 to 1860 looked like. Community members were invited to see the artifacts and heritage skills of the colonial times.
We do this for home schools, public schools, anyone that wants to learn the education of any time frame that we choose to be able to represent here. And that's anything from 1700 all the way on up until about 1920.
Over the weekend, over 500 people attended the event. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the battle at the border continues.
Border encounters dropped significantly over the weekend. I'm Jared Hill with what the White House says led to the decline after the end of Title 42, and why some argue it's still not enough.
Plus, a new poll reveals 2 in 3 parents confess they don't have confidence in their baby's gear. How experts recommend learning more about the pre-owned baby equipment. And Chris has another look at the forecast and how long all 4 states can expect the rain and storms to hang around. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. But first, we're going to have a live look from Columbus, Kansas. Topping Nation Watch this morning. 4 construction workers are recovering after they were injured on the job Sunday. The workers were installing a new gas line when they accidentally hit a water main. That caused a steam pipe explosion. Firefighters say 3 of the workers were taken to a local hospital. The 4th refused treatment. The workers are expected to be okay. Water service in the area was disrupted because of the broken water main. Police are investigating the death of a young baby after a body was discovered in a wooded area in Kansas City, Missouri. Someone passing by the area noticed the body and alerted police on Saturday night. Investigators believe the body had been in the woods for a while. A medical examiner will conduct an autopsy to determine how the baby died. Police are treating the case right now as a death investigation. New details about an officer-involved shooting in Massachusetts. Investigators say an officer shot a man in Oxford Sunday after the suspect allegedly ran at the officer with a sword. Oxford is a Worcester county in the south-central part of the state. Paramedics took the man to the hospital for a treatment. No word on his condition. The officer was not injured. There has been a major drop in number of migrants encountered at the southern border since Title 42 expired last week. That's according to data obtained by CBS News. Still, cities across the country are trying to prepare for the asylum seekers coming into their communities as lawmakers in Washington push for border legislation changes. Jared Hills has the details.
Just outside of San Diego, faces peer through the border wall as thousands wait for asylum claims to be processed in hopes of starting a new life in America.
Hambre también, tenemos mucha hambre.
They're hungry, he says. The number of crossings dropped significantly over the weekend. On Saturday, Border Patrol agents apprehended 4,200 migrants, a far cry from the all-time high of more than 10,000 a day in the stretch leading up to the expiration of Title 42.
My hope is they'll continue to go down, but we have a lot more work to do. And we need some more help from the Congress as well.
Still, some Democrats and Republicans criticize the White House's handling. Congressman Tony Gonzalez, whose district covers El Paso, took this video inside a border facility there, frustrated by the scene.
What I'm seeing is this overcrowding is becoming normal. It's normal to release people. It's normal to have these folks live in the shadows. All of it is wrong.
For those who make their way to cities across the country, humanitarian efforts are underway to help them get settled, though there has also been pushback.
Many of these migrants have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
Despite the recent dip in crossings, Border Patrol authorities say it's too soon to rule out a later spike. Jared Hill, CBS News.
President Biden says he has no plans to visit the border in the immediate future, saying it will be a distraction. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a few scattered showers out there, even a couple of rumbles of thunder, especially in southeast Kansas. But over the next hour or so, these will begin to clear out of the area, and that'll pave the way for some additional thunderstorms this afternoon. We'll have more on your complete forecast and those thunderstorm chances when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:17, almost 6:18 on this Monday morning. So we've got these scattered showers out here, especially across parts of southeast Kansas and even a couple of rumbles of thunder into northeast Oklahoma. Some of the rain on the Missouri side that's showing up, not actually reaching the ground. Not all of it, some of it is, but most of it is not. These showers and thunderstorms will continue to lift to the north, and they will begin to exit the area over the next hour or two, and then that'll just leave us with some cloudy skies. But we have more much-needed rain on the way this afternoon. So let's talk about that much-needed rain. We go to noon, scattered thunderstorms beginning to develop across the area, and we'll continue to see these. And this is, I know I've said it 100 times, you're probably thinking, Chris, we get it, but in case you missed it earlier, it's almost an exact copy of yesterday's setup, where we'll start to see scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. They will increase in coverage. They'll still be scattered, but there will be more of them. Some of these could be strong, low-grade severe, just like yesterday, and they will continue to lift to the north until we start to head to the evening. And this is where it changes from yesterday. As this system starts to swing on out of here to our east, it'll start to pull our thunderstorms from west to east instead of north to south. And we'll continue to see these, some of them trying to develop even through tomorrow early morning, so the overnight tonight, 1 o'clock Tuesday morning, and we could still see a few lingering showers as we head towards sunrise tomorrow before the rain exits for at least a couple of days, and we'll see more much needed rain on the way. Talking about that strong to severe threat, tornado risk is very low. As we say, with severe thunderstorms, when we get them, tornado risk is never zero, but in our case today, it is extraordinarily low. We have a very low-end threat for maybe some small hail and perhaps some damaging wind gusts. So again, like yesterday, could see a severe storm or two, but otherwise it shouldn't be anything to really worry about. 20th and range line, MoDOT camera there showing us cloudy skies this morning, and the same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, of course, just south of Pittsburgh. Some cloudy skies out there this morning, and there are those clouds, a little thinner up high, so you can see a little light trying to get in here. We're sitting at 68 in Joplin with a calm breeze, and across the area, temperatures not too bad. We've got 66 Lamar, 68 in Pittsburgh Parsons, 70 Chanute, 68 in Miami, Neosho, Monette, and we've got a 64 in Nevada. As we get our morning started, again, the showers should start to exit. We'll be cloudy, pushing near 80 by late morning, maybe a couple of showers ahead of the afternoon storms, and then our thunderstorm chances increase across the region as we head into the afternoon. Highs topping out right near 80. And like yesterday's storms again, if you get under a storm, your temperature is probably going to drop several degrees. But once that storm clears, before the next one gets in, it's going to warm back up pretty quickly, but we shouldn't really breach 80 degrees. Heading into this evening, much cooler, down to the lower 60s, maybe even some upper 50s out there. Showers and thunderstorms continuing. They are out of here by sunrise tomorrow, and tomorrow, yeah, going to be pretty darn chilly as we are looking at 67 for the high. Wednesday, more sunshine, a little warmer. Then we've got some scattered storms heading into Thursday and Friday evening with better chances as we head into Friday evening. And then we've got an absolutely beautiful weekend ahead of us. Partly cloudy skies. We've got temperatures into the low to mid 70s. So not bad at all. More much needed rain and a little bit of a pause to get out there and mow the lawn because I'm sure it needs it. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Though many parents rely on pre-owned baby gear like cribs, strollers, and high chairs, most admit they can't tell if the equipment is safe. A new poll from the University of Michigan found 2 in 3 parents acknowledge that they don't feel confident about the used equipment. Experts recommend inspecting and sanitizing pre-owned gear, but also checking online for any recalls or changes to safety standards. Performance-enhancing drugs may be linked to a long-lasting risk of heart disease, according to a new study out of Denmark. Researchers looked at dozens of men who used synthetic antibiotic steroids. They found that former steroids users were more likely to develop heart disease compared to those who never used them. Doctors say antibiotic steroids impair blood flow through even the smallest vessels in the body. And low levels of vitamin D may be linked to symptoms of long COVID. Italian researchers looked at 100 patients, measuring their vitamin D levels when they first admitted to the hospital for COVID, then 6 months later. They found lower levels of vitamin D in patients along with long COVID. Levels were even lower for those suffering from brain fog, including confusion, forgetfulness, and poor concentration. It's been decades since the last breakthrough in Parkinson's disease research, but a new test could help doctors detect the disease sooner. Dr. Mike Siegel has more on the new research.
This has really changed our ability to define and diagnose Parkinson's disease.
Parkinson's is a neurodegenerative disease that causes involuntary or uncontrolled movements. At age 29, Michael J. Fox, at the height of his stardom, was given the sobering diagnosis.
Incurable. He said, you lose this game. You don't win this.
The new documentary tells his story in the fight against this dreaded disease.
If I find it extremely moving, no pun intended, to be here today.
His foundation's mission is to search for early diagnosis, better treatments, and eventually a cure.
He has Parkinson's disease, but it does not define him.
The last huge research breakthrough regarding the dopamine system came in the 1990s, leading to treatments to improve quality of life. But now, a new biomarker can tell if you might one day contract Parkinson's.
We now have a tool that might enable us to identify individuals who are likely going to develop symptoms, but before they develop any symptoms at all.
Can this protein lead to a treatment?
That's the dream, yes.
Right now, this is a test of spinal fluid, but the Dr. Martet says he expected to soon be a blood test. Meanwhile, the Michael J. Fox Foundation is looking for thousands more volunteers on the project to help make the Back to the Future stars' dream a reality. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Now, we've got a few scattered showers, even a couple of rumbles of thunder out there, primarily in southeast Kansas and stretching into parts of northeast Oklahoma. Now, these showers and storms will continue to lift to the north, and they will eventually exit out of the area in the next couple of hours. But we've got some more much-needed rain as we head into the afternoon. So let's take a quick look down the road. As we head to about the noon hour, we're going to start to see scattered thunderstorms developing across the region, and those will increase in coverage as we head through the afternoon, a lot like yesterday's storms, where they'll be scattered but widespread, and a couple of these could be strong, maybe low-grade severe. We head to 6 o'clock, and as you see, instead of moving from south to north, they start moving from west to east because we're starting to get on the backside of this system, and that's going to start to push these storms to our west, and we're actually going to clear out for a couple of days ahead of additional rain chances later this week. Here we are, 1 o'clock tomorrow morning, still a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, and they could linger to just before sunrise before we start to see them clear on out of here. In terms of our severe threat, our tornado risk is very low, and we have a low-end risk for some small hail and possibly some gusty winds. Again, a lot like yesterday, could see a stray, strong, or severe storm out there, but no widespread severe weather is expected. We're cooler tomorrow into the lower or upper 60s for highs. We start to warm up Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday into Friday, we see additional shower and thunderstorm chances, and then as we head into this weekend, absolutely gorgeous. We've got low to mid 70s and partly cloudy skies. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, they say beauty is only skin deep, and the crew at Rattled Designs proved that with an old school tattoo event in Joplin.
We've got a few scattered showers out there this morning, some cloudy skies. We'll have a break, and then we'll see more storms this afternoon. We'll look at all of that coming up.
Also, a 5K and 1 mile fun run and walk flows through Carthage, Missouri to bring attention to safe and reliable tap water.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. It's a Monday morning across the 4 states, and for some of us, a rainy start to our Monday morning.
Yes, it is, but much needed rain, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually starting to pick up a little bit. We're just a pinch over the average for May, and that's what we need to see. That's what we want to see. And we're continuing to monitor some showers and even a couple of thunderstorms this morning. As we look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see them hanging out to our west, back through southeast Kansas and into northeast Oklahoma. So these showers and storms will continue to lift to the north across the region, and they will exit out of here probably in the next hour or two, and that'll leave us with some cloudy skies and an opportunity to warm up as we head into the afternoon. However, more thunderstorms are on the way. A very similar setup to yesterday. By about noon, we're going to see scattered thunderstorms beginning across the region. They'll be initially fairly widely scattered, and then we will get more numerous scattered storms as the afternoon progresses. Here we are at 3, more of those showers and storms across the area this afternoon. And then as the system starts to track off to the east, the storms, instead of moving north to south, will start moving from west to east, and they will continue with us all the way into early tomorrow morning. Here we are at 1 a.m. and even leading up to sunrise, a few showers still possible. And like yesterday, there's the possibility of a strong, possibly severe thunderstorm. Our tornado risk is very low, but we are seeing a low-end risk for some small hail and possibly some damaging wind gusts, just again like what we saw yesterday. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line looks good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, just south of Pittsburgh. We got mostly cloudy skies out there right now. We're sitting at 68 in Joplin. with a calm breeze. And around the area, temperatures aren't too bad. We got 64 in Nevada, 70 still in Chanute, 68 Parsons and Miami, as well as Neosho, Monette, and Carthage. As we go through the morning, again, we'll start to see just those cloudy skies, a couple isolated showers by late morning near 80. Temperatures today near 80. Scattered showers and thunderstorms increase as we head into the afternoon. If you get under a storm, your temperature may drop a bit, but once that storm clears before the next one rolls in, it's going to warm back up. And a little cooler this evening, dropping back into the upper 50s, lower 60s across the area with the showers and thunderstorms continuing. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. The 4 states head to Joplin for an American traditional tattoo event. Rattled Designs in Joplin hosts Old School Flash Day. This event is to celebrate and appreciate the style of American traditional tattoos that reaches back to the birth of Western tattooing. Coffee and tacos were available while waiting to get a little piece of tattoo history.
So it's kind of a celebration of the style as well. American traditional, it's part of these guys' culture, and it's the first thing that they really learned. It's the first technique that they learned. So it's kind of nostalgic for them as well, and cool for them to be able to stretch that out again.
To see more on this style of tattooing, just head on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Carthage, Missouri Water and Electric Plant hosts a 5K and 1 mile fun run and walk in honor of Drinking Water Week. This week brings awareness to the Carthage community about the benefits of tap water, that a safe and reliable water supply is critical to the success of any community. The event gave a unique opportunity for the water professionals and the community as they joined together to recognize the important role water plays in our daily lives.
And this run is to bring awareness to Water for People, which is an organization that exists to promote the development of high quality drinking water and sanitation services to those all over the world. We run and all the proceeds are donated to that cause.
All proceeds for the event went to a nonprofit, Water for People. They help water quality and sanitation across 9 countries. Community members spent an evening out creating a fun and relaxing painting at Create and Sip Studios in Joplin, enjoying their favorite beverage and creating great memories.
Well, we are painting along as people are creating their own Wonder Woman for Mother's Day, getting creative with color and having a lot of fun and just having a relaxing day, getting creative. We're doing Wonder Woman because most every mother I know is a Wonder Woman in her own right, and so I thought it was kind of fitting to do something more like that than just some pretty flowers, because hopefully they get a lot of flowers. But I wanted to celebrate the Wonder Woman and all moms and mothers.
Ages 8 and up were able to attend and was encouraged to bring their own snacks and drinks. And if you had to work on Mother's Day, then maybe you celebrate this special day a little bit later. And what better way to celebrate your mom than by treating her to a brunch? Moms still love the traditional gifts such as cards, flowers to recognize her on her special day. But making her brunch saves you dining out stress. Some food experts recommend 4 brunch items. Try quiche or asparagus and pizza for a hearty meal. Go the healthy route and wake her up with a Greek yogurt. Or you can make her an avocado toast board with salmon, bacon, and cheese. This morning we're discussing Mother's Day.
We certainly are. See, Terry Edson and her daughter Nicole McAllister have always been close, but on Mother's Day, their bond soared to new heights. Duo can now claim their place in history after becoming the first mother-daughter team to co-pilot an international flight. Now, late last month, the FedEx pilots took a 14.5-hour trip from Memphis to Incheon, South Korea.
Nearly 7,000 miles side by side, Terry served as captain. Nicole took the helm of takeoff and landing. At a young age, Nicole admired her mom's career in aviation, so she became an Air Force pilot and eventually joined Terry at FedEx.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Did you celebrate Mother's Day? So far, 91% of you say that you did. 9% of you said that you did not. Of course, there can be any number of reasons not to. For example, if you're a single guy and maybe you didn't get along with your mom, unless you're celebrating yourself.
Maybe.
But the majority of you have celebrated. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and of course, take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
Yeah. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's a blast from the past as vinyl records make a comeback.
Vinyl records are spinning their way back to the cutting edge. I'm Michael George with how this old format is striking a chord with today's music fan.
And we're still getting some scattered showers out there this morning. Those will start to clear out, and then more storms this afternoon. We'll talk about that in your forecast. But first, here's another live look from Columbus.
In Consumer Watch this morning, General Motors is recalling almost 1 million SUV because of a faulty airbag inflator. The recall involves the Buick Enclave, Chevrolet Traverse, and the GMC Al-Qaeda from the 2014 to 2017 model years. It's a part of a push by federal regulators to recall 67 million defective airbag inflators because they could explode during deployment. At least 9 incidents have been reported, including 2 deaths. As a part of the GM recall, the affected airbag modules will be replaced for free. The tech world is still buzzing about the appointment of a new CEO at Twitter. Ad executive Linda Yaccarino left NBC Universal to take the job. Twitter owner Elon Musk tweeted about the announcements Friday. Yaccarino interviewed Musk last month in Miami in front of a crowd of advertisers. Concert tours by Beyonce and Taylor Swift could break records. Projections show Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour that kicked off last week could rake in more than $2 billion. And Forbes reports Swift's Eras Tour could make $1.6 billion. Revenues like that could shadow records for all-time highest grossing concert tours. Ed Sheeran is currently in the top spot after making $776 million for his The Divide Tour from 2017 to 19. Dust off your parents' record collection because vinyl is making a big comeback. Michael George shows us why music fans are once again spinning records in record numbers.
Saxophonist Mike Cohen says there's really only one right way to listen to music.
Vinyl.
There's no comparison.
No, none.
Cohen has been collecting records for decades. He says vinyl sounds much richer than digital music.
This is what they sounded like. You know, this is what this band sounded like.
In the room.
In the room. I mean, as close as you're going to get.
Bulky records sat on dusty shelves with the emergence of cassettes, CDs, and then streaming. But now music fans are rediscovering vinyl. 41 million records were sold last year, topping CDs for the first time since 1987.
Formats have come and gone, but it's really incredible that this century-old format, has come back so strongly.
Joshua Friedlander of the Recording Industry Association of America says more than half of today's record buyers are younger than 45.
Some people like the classic look and feel, the bigger artwork, the tactile nature.
Contemporary artists are taking notice, with vinyl releases from Taylor Swift and Adele topping recent charts. Mike Cohen says he's glad people are hearing the difference.
There's a bigger appreciation for what's on the actual record versus just being able to punch anything up digitally.
What was once part of music's past, now spinning back into the future. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
While records are once again the most popular physical media for music, streaming still makes up 84% of all music revenue. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, get some scattered showers and storms out there this morning. They should clear out in the next couple of hours and leave us cloudy and warm, pushing near 80 by late morning, maybe a stray shower then. And then we'll see more widespread showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Highs pushing around 80. And similar to yesterday's storms, a couple could be strong, possibly low-grade severe. And of course, if you get under one, your temperature will drop. And then once you get out from under it, your temperature will rise again. Cooler tonight. Upper 50s, lower 60s across the area. Showers and thunderstorms continuing. And as we head into tomorrow, we could have a few more showers just before sunrise. Cooler, pushing just below 70. Warmer Wednesday and Thursday, and then more much-needed rain chances Thursday into Friday evening. After that, a beautiful weekend shaping up for us. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures low to mid-70s. We've got our daily celebration of birthdays and anniversaries just around the corner. But first, why don't we go ahead and take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Dana Jacobson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, award-winning actor Andrew Rannells will join us to discuss his new book of essays and his roles on both stage and screen. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Monday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start in McCune with Everly Stevie celebrating birthday number 2 with birthday hugs coming from Granny and Grampy Stevie.
And Madeline McCullough turning 3.
And we've got Colby Bauer celebrating birthday number 11 in Parsons.
Rayleigh McCart turning 12. Love from Mama, Nanny, Roland, and all of the family.
And we've got Chase McCullough celebrating birthday number 13 in Lamar. Very happy birthday, Chase.
Hunter Mapes turning 21 in Franklin, Kansas. Love from Mom and Ariel.
And over in Columbus, Cole Minor celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Cole.
Jacqueline Lynn Roy turning 43 in Crestline, Kansas. Love from Mom and Dad.
And Les Green over in Parsons celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Les.
Janet Shaden turning 61 in Elsmore, Kansas.
And we've got Pam Jacquinot celebrating birthday number 72 in St. Paul. Happy birthday, Pam.
Irene Lee turning 81 in Walnut, Kansas. Works at the Farmers Bank in Walnut for almost 45 years.
That's impressive. And we've got Kenneth Frobish celebrating birthday number 85 over in Columbus. Happy birthday, Kenneth.
And Cassie Hutcherson, who's a KOM marketing consultant.
All right, make sure you see Cassie for all of your advertising needs. We've also got Carol Stone, our neighbor in Crestline, celebrating birthday number 81 today.
Lexi Stone turning 19 at Columbus, Kansas, Kroll Stone's granddaughter.
And we've got Patty Dunnick celebrating birthday number 69, also in Columbus.
Julie Fox and Corey Pitts, 15th in Lamar, Missouri, 15th anniversary.
And Charlie Rice in Pittsburgh celebrating birthday number 39. Happy birthday wishes coming from your wife, Janet.
Mallory Mathis turned 35 in Parsons, Kansas. Happy birthday, love Mom.
And last but not least, we've got Raymond Houston celebrating birthday number 15 in Webb City. A very happy birthday and anniversary to all of those on our list. And we want to continue celebrating with you, and we know you want to celebrate with us. Amber, how do they do that?
You can submit birthdays to birthdays, that's plural, at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website, keeping up with everything that's happening in the 4 states, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get special deals from local businesses. Additionally, you get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. Make sure you sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. All right, let's talk about what's going on out there right now. Got some scattered showers, even some thunderstorms out there this morning. The expectation is in the next hour or two, these will start to fall apart and they'll leave us with some cloudy skies as they continue to lift off to the north across the area. And once they clear out, it's going to be a brief clearing before we see more thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. So here we are at noon, scattered thunderstorms, similar to yesterday's setup, starting to fire up around the area and initially fairly localized. And then as the afternoon progresses, more widespread showers and thunderstorms begin to pop up out there. And these will continue as we head into the evening. However, the system that's been giving us these repeated scattered storm chances is going to start to move off to the east. So our storms will stop moving from south to north and start moving from west to east as we head through the evening and into the overnight hours. Even by 1 a.m., a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms possible out there. And we could see these showers persist as far as, say, about sunrise tomorrow before they clear out and leave us with the cloudy skies. Now, like yesterday, there is the possibility of a stray, strong, or severe thunderstorm. Now, our tornado risk is very low, but we could see some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds with some of the stronger storms. So we're not expecting anything widespread, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking cloudy. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Our camera at 7th and range line showing those clouds. We're at 68 in Joplin with a calm breeze. Quick look at temperatures around the area. We've got 66 Iola, 68 Parsons, Miami, Neosho, Monette, Carthage, and 65 in Lamar. And as we get our morning started again, a few scattered showers, otherwise cloudy, pushing near 80 by late morning, and could see a couple of showers ahead of the afternoon thunderstorms. Well, coming up, when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7, we're going to meet some four-legged crime stoppers, but not the species you think. This video gives you a hint. Join us for a trip to North Carolina, where a man on the run gets pursued by a herd of cattle. Yeah, you got that right. We've got this moving story and more when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 right here at 7 a.m.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A 10-vehicle collision on Friday afternoon claims the life of a Neosho, Missouri man. The chain reaction crash occurred at 4:40 p.m. on I-44 west, about 2 miles west of Mount Vernon. The chain reaction crash started as a tractor-trailer struck the Neosho main vehicle from behind. Roger Alexander, 37, of Neosho, was driving a 2015 BMW 550i. He was airlifted to Mercy Springfield, where he was pronounced deceased at 6:50 p.m. The crash report reveals 3 others involved suffered minor injuries and 1 moderate injuries. A semi-crash leaves the cab dangling from the I-44 overpass in Oklahoma City. The crash happened Sunday morning. The driver of the semi tells Oklahoma Highway Patrol another vehicle cut him off, which caused him to swerve and go over the bridge. Oklahoma City firefighters used a ladder truck to rescue the driver and the passenger. Both driver and passenger escaped the wreckage with no injuries. One person under the overpass sustained a head injury when they were struck by falling debris. The Harbor Village hosted the American Heritage Colonial Frontiers Days. The event was meant to show and represent what the colonial times from 1700 to 1860 looked like. Community members were invited to see the artifacts and heritage skills of the colonial times. Bladesmiths from across the country gathered in Quapaw, Oklahoma for the highly anticipated 3rd annual Forge and Fire Face-Off. The event, held on Main Street, showcased the skills and craftsmanship of talented artisans in the world of bladesmithing. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, a few scattered showers this morning, more thunderstorms popping up this afternoon, and they'll become more widely scattered across the area as we head later into the day, highs near 80. We head into this evening, showers and thunderstorms continue, and a bit cooler. We're talking upper 50s, lower 60s for our overnight lows. That keeps us cooler tomorrow, upper 60s, maybe a few showers before sunrise, a break in the activity on Wednesday and warmer, and then more much needed rain chances Thursday, Friday, and then an absolutely beautiful weekend ahead of us.
Coming up today at noon, we're making berry grape chicken salad in Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. It's been 1 year since the racist shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Jerika Duncan reflects on the last year with 4 people, each impacted by the attack.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Kansas' biggest celebrity has an occasion coming up. It's the 60th birthday of the Big Brutish, and he looks really young for his age.
He does indeed. Plus, we've got the cast of High School Musical Junior heading into the studio to tell us all about their upcoming production. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here tomorrow morning bright and early at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.